Alrighty, first word, segregated. Segregated means separated. Okay, in the USA, this word has a special meaning. It means, like when people think about it, we often think about the past when people were segregated by race. There were white schools and black schools. There were even drinking fountains that were for a certain race, right? So life was segregated. The cities were segregated, right? That's an example, but also what some people might think of when they see this word, if they are American or familiar with America, right? Here we could use it in other ways, but that's usually what comes to mind. Like you could say, maybe, let's segregate into boys groups and girls groups, okay? For example, like if you go to Itaewon to the, what's that place? The mosque, you go to the mosque. Has anybody visited it? They segregate the men and women, right? The men go to one area, the women go to another area. So that's another example of segregating, right? Separating something. Next, stand-up comedy is kind of a type of comedy, right? If you watch a funny movie, that is not stand-up. Stand-up is when there's a woman or man at a microphone, usually in a bar or a big event, right? And they're saying jokes, right? As you're all learning English or practicing English that you already know, you'll know like that's probably one of the toughest ways to like listen to English, right? Like that's level 10, right? Because it's a lot of jokes and they say funny things and it's hard, yeah. So if you listen to comedy, that's awesome. Next, platform, the combination of a particular computer and a particular operating system. So the example here is the social media platform has become a window of opportunity for the young generation to express themselves. So yeah, platform is kind of an area where you can do something. It can be like a stage, and it's kind of a flexible word, right? So we could say, where's a stage? Like in Jongno, there's some stage, right? There's like kind of a platform maybe near Dongdaemun or Jonggak. Yeah, Jonggak. There's like that tower, and people do like dance shows there sometimes, right? Right? No? Okay. There's like some little area. Maybe that's Dongdaemun. There's some area in Dongdaemun, right? Okay, Dongdaemun only. Okay, only Dongdaemun. Anyway, there's kind of a platform to do some dancing. So that's one way to use platform. But it doesn't have to be a real place, like social media. That's where you can do certain things, but it doesn't have to be physical, right? So it's two different ways, right? So sometimes people say like, oh, we talked about feminism earlier. Maybe somebody said, I started this conference to give women a voice, to give them a platform to share their opinions, right? So even like a conference can be a platform to do something, right? Next is next generation funny, the humor of the future generation. As we know, a generation is kind of like a wave of people, especially like the example would be grandpa, dad, son, grandma, mom, daughter. That's one generation, two generations, three generations. So when we say next generation, we're talking about the next like generation of adults. So the kids right now, they will be adults anyway. So I guess it's like the future funny. I've never heard of that, but it makes sense. Right? Brand new. I think we all know this, right? Brand new, completely new, right? When you open that water, it goes, right? It's brand new. Nobody drank out of it, right?